We run two different kind of plow trucks. We've got an old 1985 Ford plow truck and the newer 2008 Ford dually with a V plow on it. A lot of people ask why we have both of them. And there's not really a reason. They're both great trucks. They both have a place. For years we ran the older plow truck, and it got a lot of work done, moved a lot of snow, but it had its limitations. The newer V plow gives us the ability to pick up windrows and push snow and clean up areas a lot better than the old plow. I definitely enjoy running both trucks. They're not just plows. They're two different tools that are really good at different jobs. It's been interesting having the two trucks and being able to compare them over the last few years. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. The other thing that's interesting is to see how much abuse a plow truck takes. The best way to beat up a truck is to put a plow on the front. Both of these trucks have taken a lot more abuse because they had a plow on the front than if they didn't. We joke all the time that the fastest way to kill a truck is put a plow on it. There really is something about that. Living in North Idaho requires having a plow truck. If you have any property at all, you're going to want to be able to move snow some way. We've got a bunch of properties, both private property and commercial property, that requires us to plow snow, and having the two trucks is mandatory. Luckily, we have other options than the plow trucks, but the plow trucks do a really nice job at being able to go to different locations quickly and easily and get the snow cleaned up and get things opened up so that people have access, including ourselves having access to getting home at night. You guys have seen on this channel that we have done several videos on snow plows. This is the first time we've done a video with both trucks in kind of a side-by-side comparison. And really, it's not a fair comparison. They do very different things. What we've found is that they work really well in tandem. The older truck with the straight blade is really good at windrowing material, getting up close to edges, and moving material away. And the V plow is really good at cleaning up behind the older truck. So using them together is a good way to clean things up really, really quickly. There are a lot of snowstorms that require us to clean multiple properties a couple of times a day. Luckily this year we haven't had to be out all day long. We just haven't had as much snow this year as we have in years past. I think last year we only had a couple of days where we spent the entire day plowing, trying to keep up with things. But having both trucks allows us to get snow moved, to get to multiple properties, and get things cleaned up really quickly. If we had a monster snowstorm, we could take both trucks and go to a property, clean things up really quickly, and then get to the next property. Or if we had a situation where something broke down in one of the trucks, the other truck could do the work. It might take longer, but at least we could get the snow moved and wouldn't get behind. Last year, I was headed down the road in the 1985 straight blade plow, and the muffler fell off the back. It didn't shut us down, but it definitely slowed us down. I really like the old plow truck. It's a great machine. It's certainly not much to look at. It's not going to win a lot of beauty contests, but it gets a lot of work done. And it's fun to drive around. It's fast, it's small, it's very different than the dually and the bigger plow. If I had to go do a supermarket parking lot, I would want the old truck. The 2008 Ford Dually with the big V plow on it would certainly be a better fit for a supermarket parking lot, but trying to dodge poles and back into tight spots and zip around, the old truck is a lot of fun, and you don't worry about all of that big truck, the turning radius, and the extra width being a problem. So there's a lot to consider if you're shopping for a plow in getting the right tool for whatever the job is that you're doing. When it comes to pushing snow, the older truck and the straight blade do have their limitations. They do push a lot of snow, but it's tough for that blade to stack it up and to push it around like that 2008 with the V plow will push. But there's something to be said about the cost difference. The truth of the matter is, you could buy a truck, an older truck, with a straight blade on it for the cost of just the newer blade. The V blade on the 2008 Ford Dually cost a little over $10,000. Brand new. And it sounds like a lot of money, and it is, but the amount of work that it will get done is pretty unbelievable, especially in comparison to this straight blade on the old plow truck. I would say it's more than twice as much snow that it can push. It is amazing what it can do, how much snow it can move, and how quickly it can get it moved. There are a lot of ways to move snow, and the V plow or a straight blade are both great ways to get it done. But really what you've got to look at is which is going to be the best solution in your particular scenario. For example, this V plow is great when the snow is really frozen and fluffy. But later in the year, after things warm up and cool down and warm up and cool down, and things get hard and crusty, this particular V plow is not a great option. It just doesn't like the wet, heavy snow. It does not push as well. And the smaller straight blade does a lot better job later in the season. We found that these two plows work best when we work them together in tandem. If we send out the old truck to do around the edges and move things towards the center, and then bring in the bigger plow to do cleanup, that's where we really maximize our efficiency. The older straight blade is so good at windrowing and cleaning up along the edges, especially if things are a little crusty and you really need that edge to cut into a snowdrift or a snowbank. The older truck does a really nice job. And then to follow it up with the V-plow to move it out of the way, to move it towards a pile and do cleanup, that's where that bigger plow, the bigger truck, can push a bunch of that snow and get things cleaned up. I feel really lucky to have both trucks. They're both really great at moving snow. Either one, even by itself, gets a lot of work done. But there's some kind of synergy with the two of them working together that seems to accomplish a whole lot more. I really don't have a favorite. I like them both. It's kind of like asking me, do you like your finish hammer or do you like your sledgehammer? Well, I like them both. And depending upon the job, one is a better fit than the other. If you're out shopping for a plow, I don't think you can go wrong picking up an old truck with a straight blade.